32 grams of sugar hiding inside a bottle that says vitamin on the label. Sweeteners linked to blood clots and stroke. A so-called super creatine that turned out to be completely fabricated. All of it sold in bottles designed to look like liquid health. But twist the cap on the wrong brand, and what you're really drinking is synthetic dyes, kidney-stressing preservatives, and sweeteners that may be undermining the very medications keeping you alive, all dressed up as wellness water. If this has been your go-to hydration for 5, 10, 15 years, everything we found has been building up in your system that entire time. Today, we're exposing 11 vitamin water brands that failed their health promises, including several most people consider premium, plus the 2 brands that actually kept their labels honest and earned a place in your fridge. Coming in at number 11, vitamin water. The colorful bottles. The clever flavor names like Power C and XXX. The word vitamin printed right there in the brand name, impossible to miss. Coca-Cola wanted you to believe this was health in a bottle. What they gave you was soda without the carbonation. A single 20-ounce bottle of vitamin water contains 32 grams of sugar. That is almost identical to a 12-ounce can of classic Coca-Cola. The same company, the same sugar load, just a different costume. And it worked brilliantly. Millions of Americans grabbed vitamin water at the gym, at the office, after a morning run, believing they were making the intelligent choice. They weren't. They were drinking liquid candy with a handful of synthetic vitamins sprinkled in for the marketing department. It got so egregious that Coca-Cola was hit with a lawsuit for misleading health claims printed directly on the label. They settled. They agreed to change the language on the packaging, but the sugar didn't go anywhere. 32 grams is still sitting inside every bottle on the shelf right now. Pour one into a clear glass and hold it up to the light. That neon color isn't fruit extract. That isn't vitamins glowing. That's artificial coloring manufactured in a chemical lab to make sugar water look like medicine. Taste it. That cloying sweetness coating your tongue isn't nutrition fueling your body. It's crystallized fructose mainlining into your bloodstream. For anyone managing blood sugar levels or taking daily diabetes medication, or families grabbing these for kids after sports practice, that single bottle can spike your glucose and undermine everything your prescription is working to control. Coca-Cola settled the lawsuit. They kept the sugar. 32 grams. That's not hydration. That's betrayal in a plastic bottle. If the biggest beverage company on earth can dress up sugar water as vitamins, surely their premium product line does better. It doesn't. At number 10, Glasso Smart Water Plus. Same parent company, same corporate playbook. Coca-Cola took their sleek premium water brand and added a plus sign, a few vitamins, and some botanical extracts nobody asked for. Suddenly, it's a wellness product. Suddenly, it costs $2 more per bottle. But crack it open and read the fine print on the back label. The amounts of added nutrients are negligible. We're talking micrograms of vitamins that wouldn't move the needle on a blood panel. The botanical extracts sound impressive in the marketing copy, but deliver nothing measurable once they hit your bloodstream. What they did add in meaningful quantities are sweeteners and flavoring agents that inflate the health perception far beyond what the product actually delivers. Hold the bottle up to the light. It looks pure. It looks minimal. It looks like water that graduated from medical school. It's marketing fluid engineered to justify a higher price point. Unscrew the cap and sniff. There's a faint artificial sweetness in the air before the water even touches your lips. That's not purity. That's chemistry, pretending to be nature. For anyone relying on this as a genuine vitamin source instead of actual supplementation, or people choosing this over plain water because the label suggested added benefits, you're building a false sense of nutritional adequacy while real deficiencies go completely unaddressed. The added sodium content can quietly aggravate hypertension in people who believe they're just drinking fancy water. The plus sign on the label adds nothing to your health. It only adds profit to Coca-Cola's bottom line. That was Coca-Cola's game twice in a row. Now, let's see what their rival PepsiCo is hiding. Number 9. Propel Vitamin Boost. PepsiCo markets this as electrolyte replenishment packed with B vitamins and antioxidants. The bottle screams active lifestyle. The branding targets people who move, who exercise regularly, who care about post-workout recovery. But flip that bottle around and read the ingredients they don't feature on the front label. Sucralose, acesulfame potassium. 2 artificial sweeteners that peer-reviewed research has linked to disrupted gut microbiome balance and concerning glucose metabolism issues. Your gut contains trillions of bacteria that regulate everything from digestion to immune response to mood regulation. These artificial sweeteners don't just pass through your system harmlessly, they alter the bacterial landscape in your intestines in ways researchers are still working to fully understand. Taste a sip slowly. That chemical sweetness that lingers too long on your tongue. That synthetic aftertaste that doesn't quite register as food. Your body is recognizing something manufactured, something alien to your biology. For anyone on metformin or other diabetes medications, or families handing these to teenagers after practice thinking it's healthier than soda, artificial sweeteners may alter how your body processes blood sugar in ways that directly conflict with your treatment plan. PepsiCo could formulate with natural electrolytes and skip the artificial sweeteners entirely. Clean electrolyte water already exists on the market at comparable price points. They chose laboratory chemistry instead because chemistry is cheaper than nature, and they're counting on you never flipping that bottle around to read the back. The front says vitamins and electrolytes. The back says sucralose and acesulfame potassium. Two different stories on the same bottle. Only one of them is designed for you to read. Vitamin Boost. The only thing getting boosted is their quarterly earnings report. You'd think a brand built entirely around antioxidants would be fundamentally different from the soda giants. Think again. Number 8. Buy Antioxidant Infusion. The sleek bottles with exotic fruit names like Brasilia blueberry and Costa Rica clementine. The bold antioxidant claims printed across every label. Buy positioned itself as the sophisticated alternative for health-conscious consumers who actually read ingredient panels before buying. And those ingredient panels say low calorie, say natural sweeteners, say erythritol and stevia. Everything sounds clean. Everything sounds responsible. Then a 2023 Cleveland Clinic study dropped a bombshell that should have shaken the entire beverage industry. Researchers found that erythritol consumption was associated with increased risk of blood clotting, heart attack, and stroke, not in laboratory animals running on treadmills, not in theoretical computer models running simulations, in actual human subjects with measurable cardiovascular outcomes documented in peer-reviewed research. The sugar alcohol that Bai built its entire sweetening platform around may be directly dangerous to your heart and circulatory system. Open a bottle of Bai, that crisp, slightly sweet taste that seems impossibly clean. It might be anything but. For anyone already taking blood thinners like warfarin or managing diagnosed cardiovascular disease, or families sharing these drinks at summer cookouts without a second thought, this ingredient poses a direct and potentially dangerous conflict with the very medications keeping hearts beating steadily. Bai's promise was sweetness without consequences. The Cleveland Clinic says otherwise. You chose Bai because the label said antioxidant. You chose it because it felt like the responsible option in the beverage aisle. You trusted natural sweetener the way you'd trust a doctor's recommendation. But nobody told you what that natural sweetener might be doing to your blood. Antioxidant on the label doesn't undo what erythritol might be doing inside your arteries. If the antioxidant brand is compromised at the molecular level, at least the probiotic brands deliver genuine gut health benefits, right? Wrong. Number 7. Karma Probiotic Water. Karma's entire selling point is a patented push cap mechanism that releases vitamins fresh into the water the instant you decide to drink it. The technology looks impressive. Push the cap down, watch the powder cascade into the water. Feel like you're activating something powerful and alive. It's theater. Independent analyses have raised serious questions about whether the probiotic strains actually survive in meaningful quantities by the time you consume them. Probiotics are biologically fragile organisms. They require specific temperature ranges and carefully controlled environmental conditions to remain viable. A plastic cap sitting on a warehouse shelf for weeks or months under fluorescent lighting doesn't provide those conditions. Shake the bottle after pushing the cap and watch carefully. Some powder dissolves cleanly, some clumps together stubbornly. Some drifts to the bottom where it will sit untouched until you toss the empty bottle in the recycling bin. That inconsistency isn't freshness, it's a delivery system that performs better on camera than inside your digestive tract. And underneath the probiotic promise, the added sugar content actively undermines whatever gut health benefits might theoretically survive the journey from cap to colon. Sugar feeds the harmful bacteria in your intestinal system. That's the biological opposite of what any legitimate probiotic should accomplish. For anyone with a compromised immune system taking immunosuppressive medications, or people finishing antibiotic courses hoping to rebuild their gut flora, naturally, unverified probiotic strains introduce unpredictable biological interactions. Fresh marketing, stale science, a cap that delivers performance art, not actual probiotics. The premium brands failed you. The probiotic brand failed you. So surely, the budget brands are at least honest about what they are. They're worse. Number Number 6. Agua Plus Vitamin Water. You've seen it on the bottom shelf at gas stations and corner stores. The simple label with bright colors. The low price tag. Agua Plus markets affordable vitamin-enhanced water to budget-conscious shoppers looking for a straightforward health upgrade without the premium markup. Affordable sounds practical. It sounds responsible. It sounds like a smart compromise. But affordable has a hidden cost they never print on the ingredient panel. Turn the bottle around and study what's actually listed there. Heavy use of synthetic dyes that serve zero nutritional purpose whatsoever. Chemical preservatives designed to extend the product's shelf life, not to extend yours. And the actual vitamin levels fall well below the threshold needed for any meaningful nutritional impact on your body's systems. You're paying for artificially colored, chemically preserved water with the word vitamin printed on it as pure decoration. Hold a bottle up against a window. That vivid, almost electric color isn't derived from fruit extract or any natural source. That's F, D, and C dyes synthesized in a chemical manufacturing facility and dissolved into water. For anyone over 50 already dealing with reduced kidney filtration efficiency or families on tight grocery budgets trying to make genuinely healthier choices at the neighborhood convenience store, those synthetic additives can burden kidneys that are already working harder than they used to, while delivering essentially zero real vitamin benefit in return. You saved $2 at the register. Your kidneys are quietly absorbing the actual cost. Budget water, budget ingredients, budget outcomes for your long-term health. At least the organic brands should pass the test. Number 5. Roar Organic Electrolyte Infusion. That coveted USDA organic certification seal prominent on the front label. The clean, nature-inspired design language. The low-sugar messaging in confident green typeface. The electrolyte and vitamin content listed prominently. Roar checks every single box the health-conscious consumer has been trained to look for. Organic, low sugar, electrolytes, vitamins. It feels responsible just holding the bottle in the checkout line. But despite that organic certification, each bottle still contains added sugars. Low sugar is marketing language, not medical language. It is not the same as no sugar. And the electrolyte levels are modest at best compared to what aging adults actually need for proper cellular rehydration after exertion, illness, or prolonged heat exposure. This isn't a genuine hydration solution formulated for real biological needs. It's a lightly sweetened organic beverage wearing an electrolyte costume for shelf appeal. The organic certification protects you from certain pesticide residues in the ingredients. It does not protect you from added sugars, inflated electrolyte claims, or the dangerous assumption that organic automatically equals medically beneficial. For anyone on ACE inhibitors or potassium-sparing diuretics, or active adults relying on this for serious post-workout electrolyte recovery, even moderate potassium additions from flavored beverages can push blood potassium concentrations into genuinely dangerous territory. Hyperkalemia doesn't care about your organic certification. It cares about milligrams per liter entering your bloodstream. And your doctor never factored a daily organic electrolyte drink into your medication dosing because the label made it sound harmless. Roar earned the organic label fairly. They didn't earn the right to call this meaningful electrolyte replenishment. Organic sugar is still sugar. Organic marketing is still marketing. If this helps you stay safer at the store, hit subscribe. It's free, and it means you'll never miss these exposes. See the pattern forming? Budget brands cut corners on ingredients. Premium brands hide behind sophisticated marketing. Organic brands exploit the certification seal. So what happens when a brand can't even keep its own vitamin levels consistent from one bottle to the next? Number 4. Vitamin Squeeze. Clean label aesthetics. A beautifully simple promise. A full day's supply of essential vitamins delivered in one convenient bottle with clean, straightforward ingredients. Sounds perfect for someone trying to simplify their daily nutrition routine. Sounds too good to be true. It is. Independent testing has revealed inconsistent vitamin levels from bottle to bottle. Not slight manufacturing variations within acceptable quality control tolerances, meaningful discrepancies that undermine the entire product premise. One bottle might deliver something close to what the label claims. The next bottle from the same production run might deliver a fraction of that amount. A third might deliver significantly more than your body needs or can safely process in a single day. And critically, Vitamin Squeeze lacks third-party verification or NSF certification to guarantee that what's printed on the outside actually matches what's dissolved on the inside. Open 2 bottles from the same case and set them side by side. They look identical. They should be identical. They might not be. You cannot taste the difference between 200% of your daily vitamin D and 40%, but over weeks and months, your body registers that inconsistency in ways you'll eventually feel. For anyone managing health conditions involving fat-soluble vitamins like A or D, or families giving these to children thinking they're reliably covering nutritional gaps, inconsistent dosing creates a genuine medical risk. Too little means ongoing deficiency. Too much means toxic accumulation in your liver and fatty tissues. Fat-soluble vitamins don't flush from your system the way vitamin C does. They build up silently. A label promise without independent verification is just another lie in a prettier font. The next brand on this list has loyal fans who defend it passionately online. What the reformulation history reveals tells a completely different story. Number 3. Sobe Life Water. The tropical branding with bold splashes of color. The iconic lizard logo that made hydration feel exciting and adventurous. Sobe Life Water didn't just sell beverages, it sold a lifestyle. People displayed those distinctive bottles on desks and in social media photos. But behind the bold, eye-catching packaging, PepsiCo has been quietly dismantling and rebuilding this brand for years. Reduced distribution across major retail channels, multiple complete reformulations of the recipe. The original versions contained excessive amounts of sugar, so they went back to the drawing board. The newer formulations swapped in artificial sweeteners including erythritol, the exact compound that the Cleveland Clinic research linked to elevated cardiovascular risk. Then they reformulated again, and then again after that. Crack open a bottle from the shelf today, and you genuinely cannot be certain which version of the formula you're putting into your body. The reformulation instability means the product you purchased last month may contain fundamentally different ingredients than the one you buy this afternoon. Same tropical label, same smiling lizard, different chemicals swimming inside the liquid. For anyone carefully managing diabetes through consistent carbohydrate counting and insulin dosing, or people tracking daily sodium intake for kidney health management, a product that silently changes its formula without clear, prominent labeling makes precise dietary management functionally impossible. Your doctor calibrated your medication regimen based on consistent daily intake patterns. Sobe can't even keep its own recipe stable for 12 consecutive months. That tropical flavor you loved 10 years ago doesn't exist anymore. What sits in the bottle now is a cost-cutting compromise dressed in nostalgia. The lizard stayed on the label. The quality walked out years ago. You just saw what happens when brands can't maintain a stable formula. But what happens when a company sells you something that essentially doesn't exist? Number 2. Nestle Splash Blast, now quietly rebranded as Splash Refresher. Zero sugar on the front. Vitamin enhanced in bold letters. Flavored water designed for everyday hydration. The packaging paints an appealing picture of pure, wholesome hydration with genuine nutritional benefits waiting inside. The reality is fundamentally different. Artificial flavors engineered in a laboratory. The chemical preservative potassium sorbate in measurable quantities, and vitamin content so negligible that calling this product vitamin-enhanced borders on outright fiction. This is not vitamin water in any meaningful nutritional sense. It is chemical-flavored tap water surrounded by a carefully constructed health halo. Hold a bottle of Splash right next to a glass of ordinary tap water and compare them honestly side by side. The visual difference is barely perceptible. The taste difference is entirely synthetic flavoring compounds and absolutely nothing more substantial. You are paying a retail premium for a label that prominently features the word vitamins while consuming a product that primarily delivers preservatives and artificial taste. Nestle invested millions building a wellness identity around a product that contains almost no genuine health benefit of any kind. The rebrand to Splash Refresher didn't change the formula inside, it changed the name on the outside. Same empty product, freshly designed costume. For anyone with chronic kidney disease who needs to actively minimize preservative intake, or families consistently choosing this over plain water. Because the word vitamin appeared on the label, the misleading packaging may have been steering you away from genuinely nutritious alternatives for years. Zero sugar, zero real vitamins, zero honesty. They changed the name because the old one was tainted. They should have changed the product. We've now exposed 10 brands that failed you in 10 different ways. But the number 1 spot is reserved for a brand that didn't just mislead consumers with exaggerated claims. They committed outright fraud and went bankrupt because of it. Number 1. VPX Bang, the supercharged performance drink with the aggressive branding and extraordinary promises. Super creatine for muscle building, CoQ10 for cellular energy. 300 milligrams of caffeine per can. Bang marketed itself as the ultimate energy and muscle support beverage, aggressively targeting fitness enthusiasts who wanted every competitive edge. The cans were loud, the claims were extraordinary, and those claims were fabricated lies. In 2023, Vital Pharmaceuticals, the company behind Bang, filed for bankruptcy after losing a devastating lawsuit proving their super creatine claims were completely fabricated. The compound they called super creatine was not actual creatine at all, not an improved version, not an enhanced formula, a completely different chemical, marketed under a name engineered to deceive. Multiple consumer deception lawsuits followed in rapid succession. The company collapsed under the weight of its own documented fraud. But here's what should alarm you most. While the courtroom battles played out, millions of cans continued being sold nationwide. People consumed 300 milligrams of caffeine combined with a fraudulent ingredient while believing it built muscle and enhanced performance. 300 milligrams in one can is nearly 4 times a standard cup of coffee. For anyone taking beta blockers for heart conditions or statin medications for cholesterol, or active adults over 50 chasing energy and muscle preservation, that caffeine load creates acute risks for heart arrhythmia and dangerous blood pressure spikes. They didn't just sell you a bad product, they sold you a product that didn't exist. Bankrupt brand. Fabricated science. The most dangerous drink on this entire list. Drop a comment if you've ever grabbed one of these vitamin waters thinking you were making the healthy choice. Let's see how many of us got fooled. 11 brands exposed. 11 different methods of dressing up sugar, chemicals, and empty promises as health in a bottle. But genuine clean hydration does exist. 2 brands proved it's possible to deliver real vitamins without deception. Hint water plus vitamins. Finally, a vitamin water that doesn't require a chemistry degree to decode the ingredient list. Open a bottle of Hint, and the first thing you notice is what's missing. No sugar, no sweeteners of any kind, no stevia, no erythritol, no synthetic preservatives, nothing that requires a clinical disclaimer to justify its presence. The ingredient list is radically simple. Purified water, real fruit essences from actual fruit, added vitamins. That's the complete list. Twist the cap and bring it close. That faint, clean fruit note is genuine fruit essence, not a laboratory-engineered flavor compound designed to approximate nature. It smells clean because it is clean. Pour it into a glass. No neon dyes, no suspicious artificial color. Taste it slowly. The fruit flavor is subtle and restrained, just a gentle whisper of real fruit that makes hydration interesting without transforming it into candy. Hint carries non-GMO project verification and publishes transparent ingredient sourcing with consistent third-party quality checks. They don't hide behind proprietary blends or vague botanical language. Every ingredient is listed, verified, and traceable back to its source. The brand is free of stevia and erythritol, the exact sweeteners that other brands on this list relied on, and that research has called into serious question. For anyone on blood sugar medications who cannot afford unpredictable glucose spikes, or families transitioning kids towards something genuinely healthier than soda, the total absence of sweeteners means zero interference with prescriptions, zero blood pressure complications, and zero kidney burden from chemical preservatives. After 11 brands that treated your health as an afterthought, Hint proves vitamin water doesn't need to be complicated or deceptive. Water, fruit, vitamins. No lies, no asterisks, no lawsuits. Flow vitamin-infused water. If Hint represents radical simplicity, Flow is nature doing the heavy lifting before the bottle is even sealed. Flow sources its mineral water from natural alkaline springs, water that emerges from the earth already carrying minerals your body recognizes and uses. Then they add targeted vitamins including B12 and D without introducing any sugar, sweeteners, or synthetic additives. The minerals aren't manufactured in a facility. Magnesium for muscle and nerve function, calcium for skeletal and cardiac support, naturally occurring, independently verifiable, already present in the spring water before Flow adds a single ingredient. The brand carries non-GMO project verification and packages in sustainable Tetra Pak cartons that maintain freshness without the chemical preservatives other brands depend on. Open a carton and take your first sip. The water tastes different from tap. There's a smoothness, a mineral softness on your palate. That's natural alkalinity you can actually perceive, not a marketing claim you accept on faith. The magnesium actively supports bone mineral density as you age. The calcium contributes to steady heart rhythm stability. The supplemental B12 addresses one of the most common and consequential nutritional deficiencies in adults over 50, a deficiency that affects energy levels, cognitive function, and nerve health. And every one of those benefits arrives cleanly, without sodium spikes, without artificial ingredients, and without hidden sugars that sabotage the nutrition you think you're getting. For anyone rebuilding nutritional foundations after years of unknowingly trusting deceptive brands, or active adults seeking daily hydration that genuinely and measurably contributes to their overall health, Flow delivers minerals and vitamins through nature's own system. No synthetic dyes, no chemical preservatives, no surprise reformulations, no consumer lawsuits, just water quietly doing what vitamin water always loudly promised but never actually delivered. Your next bottle should hydrate, not deceive. Subscribe now, and if you're watching on TV, tap your remote so you never get blindsided again.